that 2023 is officially behind us and in the rearview mirror, it's time to look at the safe haven asset that we discuss so very often on this channel, and that, my friends, is gold. What did gold do in 2023? Well, it officially closed 2023 up 14%, which between you and I would take in any investment in any year. As a gold stacker myself, I hold it inside of my retirement account, as well as a couple here in home storage privately. And this return made me very happy. I'll be very honest with you. Who wouldn't be happy with a 14% return? That's a pretty solid return. Now, if you're looking to add gold to your retirement or for home consumption, there's a link below with a quiz. It'll lead you to a gold company that you could match up with based on your wants, your needs, your desires, and you can survey them and check that out. Also, if you join our newsletter at tageconomy.org, you'll get an email which reveals exactly which company I use to put gold inside of my IRA, and you'll see the reasons why. You'll get that instantly. It'll come right away. Now, I've been covering the gold IRA space for over 10 years, so a lot of homework went into that decision. Of course, I'm not all in on gold. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be all in on anything in life. Let's just be really honest. You need to diversify. But most financial minds do advise that you hold 5 to 20% of your portfolio in this asset class, because what it does is it stabilizes your portfolio against the bad stuff that could happen, and I believe will happen. Other minds that are kind of crazy, like Robert Kiyosaki, who predicts a major market crash in 2024, think otherwise. They think you should hold a lot more. In fact, he went on to refer to investors who invest in stocks and bonds as a ship of fools. And he's urged investors to sock away 75% of their money into a mix of gold, silver, and Bitcoin, while putting another 25% of investment funds into real estate and oil stocks. Do what you want. That's his opinion. He's the Rich Dad, Poor Dad author. So today I'm going to unpack that and then review some of the popular stocks from 2023, some that I personally hold, and talk about how they fared, as well as talk about possible outcomes for 2024. So you don't want to miss this one. Some of these stocks I do hold and I know them quite well. Others I'm just putting out there because they're very popular. Let's first talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up over 160% in 2023. And while it's a roller coaster ride, I'm pretty sure anyone that was on it was like every other person on a roller coaster afterwards saying, damn, that was scary for a while, but it was awesome. Let's do it again. That's just what Bitcoin did. And it dwarfed every other asset class out there. So maybe the astute Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki nailed it. Time will tell. Let's see what happens in 2024. In fact, that roller coaster ride was largely attributed to a few things that were necessary evils that will never happen again, because regulators are still trying to figure out where exactly Bitcoin and cryptocurrency belongs. Where does it belong in the system? The first thing that happened is we saw the demise of FTX, a major exchange, as long as all the celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal and Tom Brady that went down promoting it. That caused a ton of fear and a big sell-off. Second, we had a Terra Luna collapse. That's a coin that went crazy and then collapsed. And we saw billions of dollars of liquidity exit the crypto market as investors simply lost trust and faith. Finally, we had countries banning Bitcoin trading, and it looked like the end was near. People were in total panic. So what happened? Why did it transition? Why did it gain 160%, mostly in the fourth quarter? Well, we saw major investment firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Valkyrie, and many others jumping in with spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds, which are ETFs for short, of course, clearly indicating the huge institutional appetite waiting to grab their share of this revolutionary way to exchange money and do business globally. According to a private surveyor, it is expected that approximately $60.6 billion could flow into Bitcoin from the combined stock and bond ETFs, and about $9.9 billion from the gold market, totaling around $70.5 billion in a potential new capital influx. Yes, that is a major number which will spike the markets even more. So I would say that the future for Bitcoin in 2024 is about as bright as the sun during a Miami summer, which I have to deal with every year. I try to get out in the summer and go to Minnesota, but it doesn't always happen. Further, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor continued to accumulate Bitcoins, and he's now believed to be sitting on profits. Saylor began buying the crypto more than 3 years ago, and at last check, held more than 158,000 Bitcoins, with a grand total of that being worth $4.7 billion. That's a ton. There are a few reasons behind Saylor accumulating Bitcoin. Number one, ETF approval by Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC, of course, and Bitcoin halving in April. Bitcoin halving is a pretty big deal a lot of guys have been waiting for. Following spot Bitcoin ETF approval, the next important event is a supply shock during April's halving, of course, reducing the Bitcoin production from 900 to 450. That's a movement, like I said earlier, that advocates of crypto and traders have been waiting for several years. So again, If Bitcoin is something that you have interest in, you should have exposure in it for all those reasons I just mentioned. But let's get into the stock market, because most of you guys do invest in the stock market. Some of my holdings are out here, some of them I don't hold. This is for all you advocates though, that like to long their portfolios and add when the market's down. There's a lot of blue chips in here. And I even cover Altria, which I personally own, who owns Philip Morris and many other companies in the tobacco and even now smokeless tobacco space. So it seems like a pretty safe play, right? A lot of wealth managers are recommending Altria. Ticker is MO. Now that went down 12% in 2023, but it did pay a 9% dividend. So not all that bad, but who likes losing 12% to get 9%, right? It happens. US Gold Corp, while having a massive rebound in the fourth quarter, thanks to the insane demand for gold, which has been absolutely bonkers, even Costco's selling it now, was down over 10%. I feel this one will go much higher over its $4 and change price. And some predictions have it going as high as $24 in 2024 due to the probability that we slide into a recession and gold prices, as many predict, will continue to soar higher. I'm one of them people. I think gold is going to go massively bonkers in 2024. Realty Income Corp, a real estate investment trust that also offers a juicy dividend, was down just under 10% this year. I'll take my gold investment over that any day. Now, Apple is one of the bright spots out there. It soared over 48% in 2023. I like to say, never bet against big tech. And you guys know as well as anyone that kids and everyone else are addicted to their phones. And people will finance just about anything and run their credit cards into oblivion to try to get that new iPhone. Why? I don't know, but credit card debt is at an all-time high. So, hey, 48% return on Apple, I'll take that any day as well. Another big winner in 2023 was Tesla, which gained over 100% returns. Pretty massive. Remember what I said about emerging tech? Well, that's exactly what Elon Musk does and continues to do. Love him or hate him, the dude just puts out solid products and ideas. Another major winner was Amazon, which I assume needs no introduction to you guys. They are simply taking over the world, acquiring everything in sight and growing and growing and growing and becoming dependent for everybody. Closing out in stocks, another popular stock is AT&T, which was down 9% for 2023. So let's get into where we're going for 2024. And to me, I've read all the reports. And I'm not talking about the BS narrative that the media, whether you're on the right or the left, serves you up. Those narratives are all bullshit, and we all know it. We have an all-time high in credit card debt. Nobody believes in the dollar thanks to our money printing system. And of course, we have that lingering thing called inflation. We talk about it all the time on this channel. We've also got a couple wars. Definitely not good. Not good for trade. We have a national debt, which is over $33 trillion. And of course, we have an upcoming election, which I think is going to be mayhem. And speaking of that, in a recent CBS News poll, 18% of likely voters said that they would be financially better if Joe Biden wins, while 45% said they would be financially better if Trump wins. Okay? Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but whatever the outcome, the economy is likely to slow down. So the stock market could see one of its rather disappointing election years. It happens all the time when there's an election. There's big changes. The last few quarters have seen low to mid single digit growth in real gross domestic product, a very important indicator, but that is likely to decelerate as the impact of higher rates continue to kick in. Companies are already seeing evidence of weakening demand as they issue disappointing profit outlooks, causing very much so share price volatility. Everything's volatile out there, you guys. Be very careful. It's also entirely likely that, and possible, that like the historical average indicates, the market will post small gains over the next year or so. So breaking all that down and unpacking it, what is the next move? What should you be doing? To me, it's very simple. And Robert Kiyosaki might be on one of the extremes of the equation, saying you need to have so much money in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. But let's be honest, everyone should have a solid amount of exposure to them. You're just stupid if you don't. Yes, I said it. I hate to call people stupid, but why not play 1% of your wealth into that? Gold predictions range from $3,000 to $75,000, which is a huge jump, being we're under $2,100 today. And Bitcoin forecasts, don't even get me started. They're everywhere from an easy double from today, at 80 grand, all the way to $1 million per Bitcoin. And the best thing you can do is diversify, even with a small amount of money, ahead of what many feel like will be a very rocky ride the next year. Get some exposure to Bitcoin, get some exposure to gold, get some exposure to silver. You can use the link below and find a company that matches up with you. And simply put, when you do this, you will sleep better at night. Don't rely on the stock market, please. Also, subscribe to our channel, because next year at this exact time, I'm gonna come back here. And I guarantee it's with a ton of conviction, telling you like, I was right. I predicted this, Nostradamus. Like I said, tons of research goes into this channel. We have subscriptions to every financial newsletter. We get our media from everywhere except the mainstream stuff. And we talk about it on this channel so you don't have to. My reputation's on the line. I understand the plumbing of our economy. The facts are there and they are not good. I look forward to covering the economy this year and beyond, and remain available to you should you have questions.